Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere that's no longer California, to be pseudo-specific. My name's Brian Engelman. Today is Friday, June 6, 2025, and this is the TNAM Daily Show, a division of the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media. We're going to talk about Elon and Trump's X-Flare. We're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers. Holy crap. Did you see the game yesterday? We're going to talk a lot about Elon and Trump and their Twitter feud, their X-Flare, as I like to call it, and all the other news. So buckle up. Here we go.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Did you see all the stuff that happened? Look, I was broadcasting live yesterday when I got a text message. Adam, you were the first person who was like, "Psst, dude, mom and dad are fighting." I was like, ah, shit.
Are you saying Trump is your dad and Elon's your mommy?
No, fool. We're sovereign individuals. We're not tax cattle. We're not debt slaves. We're sovereign individuals with sparks of life inside of our souls. But yeah, I mean, Trump and Elon, name two people that have done more to try to make things better in America and across the globe than those two people over the past several decades. I dare you to name a few people. I don't really mean a dare like, yeah, you better name me somebody, Sonny. What I mean is from SpaceX to Tesla to the robotics to the Neuralink, and yes, some of it's creepy Orwellian, Mark of the Beast, AI human interface, Ray Kurzweil. It's not the Reckoning. What's that called? The Quickening? No, what is it? Not Event Horizon. Why am I having a hard time with that? Let me look it up. Ray Kurzweil. Merging man and machine. What is the phrase? The singularity. Doggone it. Anyway, I was flipping through my Rolodex of words. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that. But look, name people who have done more. The trajectory we were on after Obama left in 2016, if we handed the reins to Hillary, I came, we saw, he died. I'm sorry, we came, we saw, he died. Wiped my servers? You mean like with a cloth? Ugh. Now, that's not to say everything's been perfect. No. But like, the feud that occurred yesterday, there's a million takes on it. And I actually went up to the comedy club. I was really excited to like take all my thoughts and condense it to 4 minutes and try to be funny about it. But in real time, it wasn't funny. Petty, childish, unfortunate. And let me just say this. Kanye West saying like, no, bros, you're too important. Don't fight. When you have Kanye West as the voice of reason, you know that you've gone off the rails. Hillary's hilarity. What's up, Kenneth? Everybody out there, however you're watching, hit like, hit subscribe, please. We love the participation in the comments section. We'll let the regulars show up, and we want you to be a regular as well. So follow us in all the places scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can find the New American Media on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, D Live, and YouTube. Find the New American Media. Link up with us, please. Can't they all just get along? Who said that? That's a famous quote. The New American Media is on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're also on X at American_Media_ and at the Agree to Disagree show on Spotify and Apple. So yes, it says the TNAM Daily. Which way am I facing? There we go. The TNAM Daily show over there. But the all-encompassing is the Agree to Disagree show. So link up with us there. Also, anybody that wants to support the New American Media, we appreciate each and every one of you. We don't have actual sponsors. I've never really reached out. I don't know. I should probably get some sponsors. It would probably help. But you are all super generous, and it's all super appreciated. We're on Patreon at the New American Media, Venmo and Cash App at BrianEngelman, and PayPal at Fuzz Installment, all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. All right. So much to talk about with Elongate. Elongate. We'll call it Elongate. I think you've made that joke before, but it's a funny one. It fits this time. Elon went off the rails yesterday. Is it a bipolar thing? Is it an autistic thing? Is it a dick thing? I don't know. We'll unpack it. But first, let's get into the irrelevant news of the day. Let's talk about sports. We are sharing this on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show page on YouTube. So we will talk about sports first, and if all you want to hear is sports, you can bounce after this. All right, what is it saying? I'm getting a message here in the studio. To change the media, you can switch your media, open a 3-dot menu, and click replace. What does that mean? To switch your media, open 3-dot menu and click replace. Where's my 3-dot menu? Replace. Screen share. Oh, okay. So did that work? Almost, kind of, sort of. Loading. There we go. Oh, we got a lot of stories to get to. We're going to move fast today. Funny how I say that and then never move fast, huh? All right, 3-dot menu. Replace. Screen share. ESPN share. Is that easier? Yeah, maybe it's easier. All right, so let's talk about what's going on in the world of sports, then we'll quickly get into the news. NHL, if you're following, congratulations to all of you who celebrate hockey. Game 1, Edmonton leads this series 1-0. Game 2 will be today. So we'll see if Florida can tie it up or if Edmonton's going to take a commanding 2-0 lead. Now, over to basketball. Did you watch that game yesterday? We were at the comedy club, and anyway, several of us ended up watching the game and going to a second location at halftime. I was there with Pacers fans. I'm not too far away from Indianapolis, here in Louisville, Kentucky, and there were several Pacer fans, and no matter what they did, I mean, it was like a 13-point game, a 9-point game. It was like a 10-point, 11-point, 12, 9, 8, 13. It was like somewhere in that range. But I kept saying to the guys, I'm like, you know what? Look, you're on the road. You're within striking distance. It's a couple of, a series of 3 or 4 plays in a row, and you see it. Basketball is I don't know. Is basketball the game that is closest defined as a game of streaks? Because, yeah, you could be on a streak where it's just you're trading buckets. Oh, they got 2, they got 2, they got 3, they got 2, they got 2, they got 3. All right. And it's like at the end of the halfway through the first quarter, it's 15-15. And you're like, all right, I guess we're just starting over again. We didn't really determine anything. And that was actually kind of the quote, after several minutes in the first quarter, just saying like, well, they're playing to an even. They're at a standstill, not much happening. That fourth quarter, I saw a stretch that the Pacers only led the game yesterday by 0.3 seconds. That was after that. That was the only time they had the lead in that game. I may or may not have that precisely, but I did see that post and shared it. Tyrese Halliburton, man, he's making a name for himself, and Pacers win on the road in the last seconds. I would show you the shot, except, that would get flagged. It's so weird that you can provide original context and commentary and play video clips for part of fair use provisions, unless it's sports. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, the series is officially interesting. Whoever wins this series, I'm going to be happy for their city because neither team has celebrated an NBA championship. And that makes me pretty happy. When it's my Cleveland Cavaliers, I definitely want a dynasty. Injuries prevented that in 2015. And then Kevin Durant joined the 73-win best regular season ever Golden State Warriors to team up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. It was like, doggone it. Nobody was beating the Cavs with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love until that Kevin Durant trade went down, and it just went, doggone it. Or was it a trade or just a free agent? Regardless, I wanted the dynasty for my own team, but I really enjoy seeing other cities get to celebrate their first championship. So if the Pacers do, they'll get theirs. Thunder's a little bit more complicated because they did win a championship back when they were the Seattle Supersonics. But, it's kind of new city, new team, new name. It would be a first, theoretically, if not technically. So, very exciting series. Congratulations to the Pacers. I'm low-key rooting for them. But I did keep saying to my buddy yesterday, like, SGA, the MVP of the NBA, I said he ain't that guy. He's not that guy. And he missed 3 important plays in a row. It felt like in a row. Down the stretch, mid fourth quarter on or in the fourth quarter. He wasn't that guy. The bright lights were too bright for him. And that often happens to young players. Whatever. It's part of the growth process. Very few people reach the mountaintop on their first climb, or their first try. But we'll see how it shakes out the rest of the series. Hello, Standing Bear. Drama and sensationalism. Yes. Is that about sports or is that about politics? I guess it applies to both. Kenneth is asking if BBB stands for Big Battle Bots. No. Big Booty Broads. No. The Big Beautiful Brouhaha. That is the name of today's show, with the flare that we all witnessed between President Trump and Elon Musk. All right. Let's go to our Instagram feed and get into the news of the day, shall we?
I think the first number of your code's a 1, isn't it?
So this guy, now what is that? Tyler is saying, I don't know what that. Oh, okay. This guy goes on Joe Rogan and tells him his ATM PIN code. This Tyler Durden says it was a warning shot and said that this dude is an Israeli spy. Joe was very uncomfortable, and he knew what happened. They're calling this guy a mentalist, Oz Perlman. Guesses his ATM PIN code on a recent show. So, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's interesting. I got other stuff to talk about today, so I'm going to keep it rolling. Carnivore Aurelius says, wow, RFK is requiring medical schools to teach nutrition or they lose federal funding. About effkin' time. Carnivore Aurelius says, if your doctor doesn't ask about your diet, sleep, exercise, and circadian rhythm, and also test your thyroid, insulin sensitivity, micronutrients, prolactin, and hormones before prescribing medicine, you don't have a doctor, you have a drug dealer. Since the 1950s, the medical industry... Oh, here you go. Here's the captions. For countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control. I say this to you under duress for fear of having my video banned and banished into the shadow realm. Since the 1950s, Carnivore Aurelius continues, the medical industry has shifted to focus on allopathy, prescribing drugs to treat symptoms instead of treating the root cause, and it's massively backfired. We made massive strides in acute care and abolishing infections with antibiotics, and we took that same approach to every other health issue. Now we treat heart disease and depression like they're a broken arm or pneumonia, but chronic diseases are incredibly complex and no single treatment will fix them. By the way, as they bring up depression, I would like to point out that this is June, which we all recognize to be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, I mean, it's not really something you celebrate. You know, you don't really take pride in having mental health issues as men or anything, but I guess you don't celebrate with pride D-Day. I mean, you're happy that you won. You know, and some people ask you about who was fighting who in World War II and what did that victory actually set a chain reaction off regarding, but that's a whole separate issue there. But this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and today is D-Day, a day that, you know, a lot of important stuff happened. So remember that. This June, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I was bringing that up because it's talking about depression here. So now we treat heart disease and depression like they're a broken arm or pneumonia, but chronic diseases are incredibly complex and no single treatment will fix them. If we want to restore health, we need to remember that humans aren't machines or cars that break down and need a tire replaced by a mechanic. We are self-regenerating, intelligent, energetic, spiritual beings that require body, mind, and soul to be nourished to be healthy. The ancients knew that food was medicine because we ingest kilograms of it each day. And requiring medical schools to teach this once again is a massive step in the right direction. Even if the curriculum is not correct, doctors will consider more the impact of food on every single disease. But if I were making the nutrition curriculum, it would look like this. Single ingredient whole foods. No food your grandparent wouldn't recognize. Prioritize foods that you digest well. Listen to your body. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Animal fats over plant fats. Nutrient-dense animal-based superfoods like liver, oysters, and organ meats. Tracking micronutrients and ensuring all requirements are met. Milking a cow and drinking straight from the udder and lots of beef. So yeah, it's about time we get back to the basics here because the food pyramid in our healthcare industry has been atrocious. On that, I think we can all agree. All right. Charlie Kirk says, let me get this straight. Democrats tried to put Trump in prison for 700 years, take his business empire from him, impeach him twice, take him off the ballot, censor him on social media, and I'll add, tried to explode him on television in Butler, Pennsylvania. All while they were sitting on information that Trump was on the Epstein list. This is total and complete nonsense. We agree. This makes no sense. So Elon going ballistic yesterday. Yeah, Trump also kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. Great point. There's no way the deep state sat on that information and then Elon's like, aha, gotcha. Ah, ha, ha, ha. By the way, I want you to babysit my kid. I want you to hang out with little X all the time because I think you're a child abuser. So, you know, Elon got mad and he swung because look, if you watched the Epstein video, let me rephrase it. If you watch the interviews with Cash Patel and Dan Bongino about Epstein offing himself. It looks like a hostage video. It doesn't look legitimate. They don't look in the way. It's not just how they look, it's how Cash answered the question. It was rehearsed. He went through it several times and he looks off and he's trying to remember the script. I mean, I can see it happening in real time. I don't know. I just don't buy it. And so the natural inclination is, why is Trump not putting this out? Why is Bondi not releasing the information? Oh, yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. Oh, yeah, they're convicted of trafficking kids to nobody. Where the hell's the list? So now that begs the question: are we witnessing four-dimensional chess or not? The four-dimensional chess angle is fantastic. I'll read some more of these comments and posts because there's so many perspectives to consider. But what do you think? Do you agree or disagree that the Elon versus Trump feud was a psyop? It was kayfabe. Kayfabe is the term in professional wrestling where you put on a show and you pretend to hate each other even though you're on the same team. So do you agree or disagree that the Elon and Trump feud was kayfabe? Agree or disagree? As Scott Adams likes to point out, I have recreational beliefs. Things that are interesting to ponder and consider. I don't know that I would bet money on it. No, I wouldn't bet money that Michelle Obama is actually somebody else. But it's a recreational belief. It's like, well, man, this administration certainly seemed to really prioritize trying to convince humanity you can change who you are. You can't. But they pushed it real hard. Don't make any jokes about Michelle pushing it really hard. Now, I don't believe that to be true, but it's a recreational belief to ponder. I mean, the name of her book is Becoming, as if you can become a woman. You can't. But it's interesting. What if? Joan Rivers. Oh, everybody knows Michelle is a transvestite. Everybody knows it's okay. Obama's our first gay president. We all know. And they offed her within weeks. I'm sorry. That's my recreational belief. The real belief is, no, she totally expired during a normal, routine, low-risk cosmetic procedure. Okay. Breitbart, too. I'm sorry. Breitbart died of natural causes. My recreational belief is that he was taken out. Actually, he said he had info on Obama, and then shortly after he was. So there are recreational beliefs. So I will say I have a recreational belief that this is kayfabe. This isn't chess. This is three-dimensional chess. No, this isn't chess. This is four-dimensional chess. This is so brilliant. Now we have people on the left screaming, release the Epstein files. It's going to be all Democrats. It's going to be 85% demos. Demos are pedos. We know. You're trying to put the smut into the children's schools, into the elementary schools. You're trying to castrate and mess up the children's biology, convincing them guys are girls, girls are guys. They're not. But the Democrats have been pushing this. Who defends the child abusers? It's not the right. It's the left. It's the creeps. Not everybody on the left is a creep. Not everyone on the left is a pedo. I know. But if you compare the two parties, one side seems to really be okay with, no, they're just minor attracted people. No, they're monsters. And what do you do with monsters? The fullest extent of the law. And I believe even Florida has turned it into capital punishment, as it should be nationwide, globally. Touch a kid, you forfeit your right to be here. Where's here? Anywhere. Don't fuck with the children ever. So there are recreational beliefs. What if this was kayfabe? What if this was just a plot to get the left to actually kind of like Elon? Oh my gosh. We're back to liking Tesla again. Should we wait? Are we firebombing his product and his customers? Or are we going to build him a statue that maybe we'll later tear down, but What do we, the enemy of Trump is my friend. I used to hate Elon, but now he's against Trump. So now I like Elon. And now I was for Tesla before I was against it, but now am I for it again? Because it's green. Green is good, right? Even though the batteries aren't good for for the earth, right? But they're good because gas is bad. Gas makes the world go around. Oil, okay, fine. But like it's like the left is in a washing machine, just being spun around on a hamster wheel. I'm mixing metaphors, but you get my point. This isn't 2-dimensional chess, 3-dimensional chess, 4-dimensional chess. It's more like 69 dimensional chess. That's my Elon impression. Kanye, the voice of reason. Was this all just a psyop to get the budget tightened up? Or was this just Elon getting pissed that electric vehicle rebates were getting taken out in this budget? He's like, I sacrificed everything for you. I spent $1 quadrillion buying X so that there was one. Okay, hold on. There's one platform on social media where you're going to be able to get your message out. Meta wasn't letting Trump speak. Google wasn't doing it. Elon sacrificed so much for free speech and to try to help get Trump elected. And you're just going to turn around and cut the EV mandates? It's like, is that what this is about? He's just pissed about that? Or pissed about the bill because they're not codifying the Doge cuts? And I admit this big, beautiful bill, this big, beautiful brouhaha is frustrating. Of course it's frustrating. There's a lot of comments on it. Just it's an imperfect system with a vitriolic, demonic Democrat party that's just hell-bent on ruining anything Trump tries to do. If you've ever been in that situation where you become, say hello to the bad guy. It's just everything you do, even the most common sense things, they're blocked just for the sake of getting under your skin, trying to thwart your agenda. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if America wins. I care that Trump loses. Cutting off your nose to spite your own face. So Elon's right to be frustrated. Trump's right to be frustrated. Thomas Massey and Rand Paul have a right to be frustrated. We all have a right to be frustrated. But did it make sense to try to throw Trump under the bus and link him to, the reason you're not letting the Epstein files out is because you're on the list? Yeah, we know that Epstein was trying to infiltrate into Trump's circle. We know that Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. We know that Trump cooperated with the investigators when they were taking Epstein down. We know that Trump publicly called Epstein out in regards to Clinton, that it's going to be a very big problem that they had the affiliation association that they did, allegedly flying to his island how many times? Oh, yeah, there's pictures of Trump with Epstein. Yep, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't like him at all. I believe he bought a property just to keep Epstein from buying it, something near him in Florida. They're not homies. Yeah, in the private jet world, sometimes you jump on private jets of other people, and there were flight logs that he flew places in planes that maybe had Epstein in it. I'm trying to figure out exactly the specifics on that. That doesn't mean he's a frequent visitor or a single-time visitor to that island. It's not like there's a video. It's not like he was engaged in this and that. But that's what Elon implied. He really went with a low blow. And once again, if Elon knows that Trump's a creepo, why is he letting him hang out with little X? Doesn't make a bit of sense. It just sounded like a lover's scorn, tried to say the meanest thing possible. And it's jarring. It's like watching your parents fight. All right, Bella's chance. I saw your comment. Really? You disappoint. Joan Rivers spoke the truth, in my opinion. Come on, I disappoint? What, I'm supposed to keep every single opinion that you have, Bella's chance? There's no way we can hold the same exact opinion on every single issue. And by the way, Am I saying that I hold this recreational belief as a recreational belief merely to avoid some of the slings and arrows that would come at me if I locked my line in the sand based on something that I can't prove? Yeah, there's a bit of that. Do I actually believe that Joan Rivers spoke the truth? Maybe. But I need to say that it's a recreational belief that I'm willing to explore for the sake of conversation, introspection, research, consideration. I can't prove it. Joan Rivers, a comedian running her mouth, doesn't prove anything. By the way, I've had this conversation 1,000 times. She wasn't trying to be funny in that moment. She's like, everybody knows. She's like, I'm sorry, what? Obama's gay and Michelle is trans. Everybody knows. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. She wasn't like cracking a joke, dropping a punchline, trying to get a chuckle. And by the way, it's okay to be a humorist, a comedian that can say inappropriate, offensive things to get a chuckle out of people. It's the uncomfortable that can make us chuckle in the first place. That's why it happens. It's like a neurological, physiological, reflexive response. Comedy is very, you hit the funny bone, but you hit the uncomfortable button. It's like sometimes someone says something you had thought before, and you go, oh, my God, I've never said that out loud, but holy shit, you went there. That's the beauty of comedy. Being a comedian, you're playing a character on stage, essentially. But yeah, I'm not trying to disappoint you there. And do I believe Joan Rivers spoke the truth? I think there's been something off with the Obamas from day one. Yeah, I do think something's been way off with these guys. Now, I don't mean guys literally, or do I? But it's a recreational belief because it's not something I can prove. Can I go up to Michelle and pants the person? Ha! There it is, or there it isn't. I mean, that would explain a little bit. But isn't it interesting? The book that Michelle Obama wrote was called Becoming. Now, come on. She's got biological children, they say. How's she going to have biological children if she's a dude? You can't have biological children if you're a dude. Then the response comes, well, no, maybe it was Frank Marshall Davis, or maybe it was this person, or maybe it was that person. And, you know, looks just like, no, it's not. She wasn't. Okay. Anyway, there's just look at Michael. I mean, honestly, who throws a shoe? I mean, honestly, we can all recognize the opposite sex. What about Brittany Griner? Brittany Griner, anybody? You know, WNBA and not good enough for the NBA. I don't know. I saw a pool party topless Brittany Griner video, if that's what I actually saw, and I think it was. That didn't look like a lady to me. I don't know, but now we're in silly season. We're in speculative season. There's a lot of speculation. And back to Trump, Elon, we're speculating. Was this somebody high on ketamine that just freaked out? Was it somebody who's manic depressive and he got in a really pissed off manic phase and went into an X flare? They used to call them Twitter storms. I call them X flares. Pretty brilliant. I've never really heard many people calling them X flares. There's like a Twitter storm, tweet storm, Twitter storm. I'm like, X flare. Yeah, that's what the sun shoots out. The coronal mass ejections and X flare. So we're speculating is the point. We're just speculating. Kenneth once went motorboating on the Joan River. Okay, well done. Well played. Good morning, David. All right, glad to see some of the regulars jumping in. Appreciate it. Kenneth saying rented children, you mean? It's a recreational belief that, all right, let's consider that. Can we do a DNA test to prove? I don't have access to that ability. Anyway, we're a little off topic here, but we are on the topic of speculation. And there's been a lot of speculation since the end of yesterday's show when I put my head in my hands. I'm like, what is happening? Why is Elon and why are they going at it like this? What is It's about ego, it's about pride, it's about money, it's about payback, it's about appreciation, it's about respect, it's about getting things done, it's about two alphas, it's about a lot of things. It doesn't have to be just about one thing. But Joe Rogan has Cash Patel on. Don't tune out of my show. Number one rule is you're not supposed to tell somebody about something else. It'll be like 1,000,000 hours long. You check it out later. Play it at 2 times speed. All right, let's continue here going through the news. Magdalena says you are being distracted from something much more sinister. Is that possible? I think that's possible. So this is the tweet that broke the internet. Elon says, time to drop the really big bomb. It's time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason why they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. That was the tweet that broke the internet. And of course, it led to this speculation. They're just yucking it up. They're having a good old time. You don't hear Trump laugh often. That was a good one, Elon. Next, call me a retard. That'll work. It's possible, right? We're speculating. This is possible that they're doing it like that. Isn't it possible? I think so. But once again, it's all speculation, people. Oh, boy. All right. Let me pull up this one. Do I have to hang on? Do I have to switch this? No, I do not. Good. Pull this up. Trying. Third time's the charm. Okay. Wow, why is this complicated? There we go. Let's try it this way. Trying to show you well, that didn't work. Image that we used, because it's either like this or it's like that. Our image essentially was this image that we created for today's thumbnail. Except they weren't joking about it. They were just angrily firing off X flares at each other. Bella's Chance says, regarding yesterday, yes. From moment one, it reminded me of drug talk. So you're saying like a manic... Here, let me change the... Do you mean like a manic ketamine? I'm going to go down a really deep K-hole real soon. That's what Kyle Dunnigan said on the Kill Tony podcast when he was playing Elon Musk. So like drug-fueled ramblings and rantings. There's a little bit of that. Free breather. Brian, do you think of Earth as in a heliocentric model? I've heard a lot of people describe it that way, but I have recreational beliefs. This is a video game. This is a simulation. This isn't real. That's a recreational belief. Do I believe it? I enjoy discussing it and pondering what if. Yeah, I love pondering the what if. The flat Earth model, make it make sense. I'll entertain a little bit of that. Yeah, you got Copernicus. You got all sorts of people getting locked up in castles for the entirety of their lives because they changed it from a Earth-centric to heliocentric. What if it's all just a computer simulation? What if it's not any of it? What if it's like that old TV show Bob Newhart? You wake up and it was all just a dream. What if we're all just sitting in a chair with VR goggles on? What if Elon's already done the brain chip thing and this is the experience this is our video game experience. When we die, air quotes to everybody listening on podcast form. Maybe that's when the simulation ends and we take the goggles off and go, whoa. And then you play back all of your highlights and your lowlights, because all the audio, all the visual, everything you saw, everything you physiologically felt, the racing heart, the flushed face, the clenched fists, the moments of pure bliss and joy and laughter and happiness, warmth and love. You get to feel all of it, and you get the greatest hits and the lowest hits. What kind of model is it? Elonocentric. Yeah, maybe it's Elonocentric. Who knows? God's simulation game against the devil. I mean, like the video game The Sims, Sim City. I mean, aren't we? We're trying to build our personal lives. It's not all that different. So I don't know. I mean, free breather. What say you? Heliocentric? Do you believe that we're in a heliocentric model? Do you believe we're Earth-centric? Do you believe we're something else? Infinite parallel dimensions? Guys, now you're speaking my language. I jump on here every day and I talk about politics, current events, mainly things that are happening in the universe. Because as I'm unpacking things, we'll talk about them together. If I say something that sparks a joke or a question or a comment, an agreement or a disagreement, drop it in the chat. Hit like, hit subscribe, however anybody's out there watching, please. But yeah, I mean, wind me up and let me live in the Coast to Coast AM universe. Special reminder, if free breather, I haven't seen you in a minute, but did you know that I had John B. Wells on the show a week or two ago? Former host of Coast to Coast. Now he's on with Caravan to Midnight. God, he's been on for thousands of episodes now. It's wild how time flies. But yeah, I love the overnight radio Coast to Coast AM section of thought, in philosophy, in ponderances. I like to consider the options, the possibilities. The earth is God's pizza pie. David says, I think the earth could be flat in my mind. The bomb. No, the BBB is Better Business Bureau. No, it's the big, beautiful Brouhaha. All right, back to Elon, back to some of these posts. Let's continue through. All right, is the Elon-Trump feud a distraction for something else? When in the land of psyops, everything is a psyop. Okay, that's a take. Hey, they're having a fight, and you're just sitting there eating popcorn and watching. Here's the guy who still brags about the COVID vaccine. And oh, look, here's the guy who wants to put chips in our heads. Who do you back? God, I lost a bet to one of my comedy buddies yesterday because I had this old joke about the Subway series, Mets versus Yankees. Who do you want to win? I don't know, the terrorists? Not a great joke. But it is a funny joke. It's kind of a funny joke because you hate both teams so much. But of course, the 9/11 connection makes it very pungent, very potent. But it's that uncomfortable. Oh, oof. Jeez, that was a low blow. There's a comedic value to going low. And when you go low, it sparks a lot of energy. People weren't listening to Elon about the debates. They weren't listening the debates over the budget. Elon was getting very frustrated, so he just trauma dumped just started throwing insults. You ever been in an argument with a significant other and they will just empty the kitchen sink full of insults and mean shit just to get you? I've done that to people in my life before. I've had that done to me by people in my life before. It's part of the human experience, I think. It's maybe not something we want to aim at every single day, I would imagine, but it happens. Yeah, during Super Bowl weekend, we're already putting chips in our mouths. Okay, that's a clever play on words. But yeah, the guy bragging about the V and the other guy wants to put chips in our heads. It's like, I don't know, let them both fight. Screw them both. Milo says, Milo is such a weird troll. We actually interviewed him in Cleveland in the 2016 Republican convention. The day he got banned off of Twitter. Back when that was a thing. And you're like, they never do that. Like, they almost never banned people They didn't think they could get away with it. Then they sort of started with Milo. Oh, I mean, he's a troll. You're allowed to be a troll. And he's a comedian. He's a shit talker. He's a pot stirrer. He's an outrageous character, but he's an interesting brain. Milo says, you see the kind of mess it makes when there are two dads? He's clearly fishing. He's trolling for outrage bait right there. Or he's tossing outrage bait into the water. Hey, D, Trump and Elon broke up and now they're fighting on social media. I don't care. Shit, I don't care either. This is a very black-pilled account, the I'm Not Having Fun Anymore 5.0. It's called 5.0 because the other ones have been shut down 4 other times, so. Yeah, Elon, Elon is like, this girl's the nastiest skank I've ever met. Don't trust her. She's fugly. And there's a picture of Trump. It really feels like that. Very petty, very mean. Jason Bassler says, none are so hopelessly enslaved as those who falsely believe that they are free. The truth has been kept from the depths of their mind by masters who rule them with lies. They feed them on falsehoods till wrong looks like right in their eyes. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Am I pronouncing that last name right? Maybe not. Well, now they're saying it's Mossad that's pointing at both people, that they're all on the client list and that Mossad recorded it. That's a mean photo there. Alex Zeck says, please explain to me like I'm 5 how obsessing over the fake, overly theatrical drama between Mr. 5G transhumanist and Daddy Operation Warp Speed relates to your life in any way. Is obsessing over that faux drama helping you become more grounded, more resilient, more connected, more powerful, more whole, more healthy, more clear-minded, more heart-centered, more rooted in truth, more aligned with nature, and more present with your family and community? No. Can be our Rocket Man now. Fuck that asshole. Yep, Elon's no longer the Rocket Man. I'll be a Rocket Man now. Fuck that asshole. Oh, geez, look at this. It was foretold. And there's an image of the Trump Hotel and during that Tesla terrorist attack. It was foretold. Yeah, this year started off with a weird bang. And this is kind of summing it up. PNW Gorilla says the cavalry. In my head, I said that word perfectly. The cavalry. Why'd I add an extra L? The cavalry? Like Cavaliers? Yes, it's misspelled as cavalry. That's why I said it wrong. Cavalry. The cavalry isn't coming. There aren't better leaders. It's up to us. That's actually a pretty good point right there. So, oh, Milo. What is this? Yep, there you go. When she finds out that you're a meme page administrator that's on a government watch list that has a post-apocalyptic warlord potential. Hey now. Hey now. That's a spicy meme. I don't normally show booty in my memes, but, I consider the New American Media to be a meme page. Benjamin Franklin considered, like cartoons used to be the best form of political discourse. You can distill something very complicated down to a cartoon and you go, ah. Of course, there's always nuance and there's 1,000 perspectives to consider. But when you get the right meme, the right cartoon, it sort of dials it in. Still waiting for Free Breather. Do you believe Earth is heliocentric? Or that our solar system exists in a heliocentric model or not? Awaiting your feedback. Hey, here's a reminder that in 1980, the FBI formed a fake company and attempted to bribe members of Congress. Nearly 25% of those tested accepted the bribe, and they were convicted. Can we bring that back? Can we please bring this back? Or is only Mossad able to blackmail our leaders? Why do you keep saying Mossad? Do you think they're behind everything? What do you think Epstein worked for? Ghislaine Maxwell, her father. It's known. These are not recreational beliefs. Hang on. Let me ask what Grok says. Not that Grok knows everything. Known connection between Mossad and Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Grok is they said alleged. Oh, unverified claims, speculation, and conspiracy theories. What? Now, Robert Maxwell, the British media mogul who died in 91 under very mysterious circumstances, is cited as a key figure in these allegations. They called Robert Maxwell Israel's super spy in a book by Gordon Thomas and Martin Dillon. They claim he worked for Mossad, supported by significant investments in Israel and his burial in Jerusalem's Mount of Olives. Additional speculation comes from Epstein denying knowing Robert Maxwell in an O2 interview. Allegations of Mossad connections to Epstein and Maxwell exist as speculative, rooted in unverified claims from figures like no concrete evidence. Oh, okay. I stand temporarily corrected. I would never try to mislead somebody. However, sometimes I jump a few pages ahead in the book. I'll tell you things without reading the other things. Now, is that my recreational belief? I mean, anyway. All right, so it is what it is. No, all the U.S. politicians are getting bribed and blackmailed for the purpose of nobody gaining leverage. Okay. Right, it was nobody gaining. It was just that one guy who conveniently poofed. David Showen here. All right, connecting these dots. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he was offed. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. So if this post is accurate from 300 Guns, yes, we know, because we know this. All right. MSNBC quietly removes Jen Psaki from the primetime slot after her debut lost more than half of the viewers in 1 week. Her show has now been replaced by reruns. Overall primetime ratings are down 41% from last year. Who's still watching that drivel? I met Alex Stein at the Libertarian Convention in D.C. I did not know this story about him. And I feel, unfortunately, oddly connected with him at this point.
My mom got COVID, Dr. Drew, and we said that we didn't want her to be intubated. And what they did is they made us sign a DNR. They gave her remdesivir. My mom died less than 7 days later in my arms, her lungs filled up with fluid. I am not a conspiracy theorist when I say this. They wanted more people to die from this.
That's how my mom and my brother died. God damn it, do I want Fauci held accountable.
Because it would make their narrative more true that this was a deadly thing and that there wasn't a 99% survival rate. But I purposely believe that they were giving remdesivir knowing that remdesivir was not a good remedy for this. I've lost a lot of faith in the medical community, and especially when it came to COVID.
You should have lost faith. The public health proved itself to be a catastrophe. The fact that they all responded to centralized authority rather than their ultimate sacred responsibility, just taking care of the person in front of them.
I was arguing with his stupid doctors, his stupid nurses. Some of the nurses, oh God, I'm remembering these phone calls to these people. I just never in my life did I. My mother had a couple of health issues, and her respiratory distress might have been, connected to a lot of cigarette smoking over the years and other issues. Like I get that. But she did die right at the beginning of, like, a week or two before the world was shut down. And it was a strange respiratory distress that she couldn't shake. But I never once imagined my brother was going to get taken out by this thing. And I never even went up to visit him because I was kind of following it and texting with him, like, what's going on? Like, what, man? Get to the hospital. All right, get better. Like, what? Been taking vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, right? We've been talking about that. Get ivermectin. They wouldn't give it to him, or his doctor gave him the tiny dose instead of a dose that would make a difference. They withheld monoclonal antibodies that was proving to be very effective. Wouldn't give him the Merrick protocols and the vitamin C drips. And I'm arguing with these doctors, and they want to put him on remdesivir and jam an intubation tube down his throat. I'm like, what the fuck? No! And they all just went along with it. They all fucking went along with it. Well, we're not allowed to. Who says you're not allowed to practice medicine? That you have to be an automaton. Automatron or automaton? Remdesivir. The nurse, they called it "run death is near." It didn't help people, and we all knew that. We all knew that.
It's still an astonishing thing. The doctors that I knew that used remdesivir certainly meant no harm. What they were, however, was swept into this political wind where you just followed authority.
When my mom died, those doctors, they treated it like, oh, I told you so. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. This is serious. People were dying. Like, it just didn't seem like they even wanted to save my mom.
Yep. It didn't even seem like they gave a shit at all. They got benchmark bonuses. Oh, you have a COVID patient, check mark, you get X amount of money from the federal government. Oh, you have to prescribe remdesivir. Shocking. You're going to get a check mark. Oh, you check that box, bam, collect your however many thousands of dollars. I wonder if Grok has that listed out. Let me ask. What were the health care what do I call them? Benchmarks, kickbacks. What were the healthcare bonuses paid based on regarding COVID? Please tell me I asked that question well enough for you to understand, to give me an answer. $1.2 billion, federal funds, Florida. No, not this. I mean, how much for admitting COVID patient? How much for treating with remdesivir? How much to intubate? How much paid for a death? That's what I want to know. And I've read these things before, but I haven't committed to memory. Under the CARES Act, Medicare provided a 20% add-on payment for an inpatient hospital stay involving a confirmed COVID-19 diagnosis. Yeah, and it wasn't because you were being treated for COVID. You would be treated with COVID because they'd test you, and you could find COVID on a Pepsi can. You could find it on an avocado, on an apple. The PCR test was never designed to identify SARS-CoV-2. It never was. The inventor specifically told us that. Positive for a typical Medicare patient with pneumonia, a common COVID-19 related diagnosis, and that's what killed my brother. Double pneumonia. The base payment was $7,700 for non-COVID cases. With COVID, it's $9,240 due to the 20% add-on. Respiratory infections with major complications, that rises to $13,000 or $15,900 with the COVID-19 add-on. Remdesivir treatments. A 5-day course of remdesivir was $3,100. 6 vials at $520 each. Claims on X alleging $25,000 per dose or that remdesivir was a moneymaker lack evidence and appear exaggerated or unsubstantiated. They were pushing it hard without evidence that it worked, ignoring evidence that hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin could potentially help. CDC.gov, what is it? Go to who.int and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views. Intubation, $20,000 before the add-on. The claim that hospitals receive 3 times more for ventilated COVID-19 patients is partially true, as ventilator cases inherently involve higher DRG payments. And $48,000. Respiratory system diagnosis requiring ventilator support for over 96 hours. You got paid based on if you hit these benchmarks. You made more money if you made sure you jammed a tube down someone's fucking throat. No specific Medicare claims death. The primary source of CMS guidelines, death bonus. And it's a little murky there as well. I'm reading through all these critical notes here. Anyway, it's just reminding me of all this stuff.
And I'm not saying that they killed my mom, even that's how I personally feel.
They got so deep in their groupthink and in the political winds that blew that they couldn't think objectively.
Yeah, nurses were like, we can't prescribe ivermectin, even though billions of doses have been given with almost barely nominal occasional side effects of a minimal nature, ignoring all of the Ebola clusterfuck that remdesivir caused people. Known poison, allegedly. And he said, well, if you can find ivermectin, here's what you would do if you had a pill. You would crush it this way. You dilute it with water. And here's the part of the ventilation tube you would remove it from. And you could prescribe it to him if nobody else was in the room. And if you ever needed me to leave the room, you could just ask me for 5 minutes alone. So they were saying, I wish I could help you. I wish I could give you ivermectin. I can't, but if you can find it, here's how you administer it. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I wish I could go back. Can't. You know, it's like if life is a video game or a simulation, can you go back and like a choose your own adventure book? Do you want to go into the cave and slay the dragon? If so, go to page 137. If you want to go around the cave and head toward the castle, go to page 42. You go to, oh no, I was shot with arrows. Okay, no, I will go in the cave. Oh, okay, yeah, look, ooh, that worked. You can't do that. You don't really get do-overs.
And for the most part, people became what I would call delusional.
It's crazy to think, though, that we were all brainwashed. And we trusted the science, and the science really didn't have our back. My mom got COVID.
Man. I'm just going to say, sorry, Alex. Same happened to me with my mother and brother. May they both rest in peace, and may we very quickly indict Fauci already. Man. All right. Kenneth, does my brother say anything to me in my dreams? I haven't been very dreamy lately. I haven't been very open to the spiritual realm, the afterlife. You know, I've gone on various journeys that probably opened me to a lot of, I don't know, either parallel dimensions or alternative realities or shadow realms, or when the veil has been lifted or thinned. And I've studied under this group and that group and done, I've explored, like I said, the coast to coast realm and ghost to ghost during Halloween. Yeah, I was a guest on Coast to Coast when it was on the Queen Mary, the haunted Queen Mary, the sister ship of the Titanic in Long Beach. And they had Coast to Coast AM there. And I told Tom Danheiser and George Norrie my ghost story from when I moved into my apartment in Los Angeles. That was the first time I was a guest on Coast to Coast. Then I was after the Kelly Thomas killing from the police officers in Fullerton, California. Then I was on the day after December 21st, 2012, when the world was supposed to end. I called it National Hangover Day. And it's like, no, the world's not ending, according to Dr. Jose Jaramillo, who I interviewed at the Conscious Life Expo. He's like, it's just a Mayan calendar and it goes in cycles. But yeah, I love the topic of spirituality and souls and all that jazz. But yeah, I haven't had too much going on in my dreams. And I have been sort of thinking about, am I ready to maybe tap back into that? Do the meditative work, the prayer work, but really, you got to guard your soul too. You got to be careful. When you start opening yourself up to, I don't know if you call it channeling, or there's 100 ways it could be described, but if you leave the window open with no screen, things can go out and things can come in, things that you want and things that you don't. So maybe I've been deciding to maybe not go there. But no, I'm you're not the first person to ask me that question. And I don't really take the time to ask him things. I figured he's probably been busy visiting other people that need it more. But I mean, yeah, he's got a widow and a kid and a father and, lots of people, relatives and coworkers and friends and stuff that loved him. But, the bond between a brother, that's just a unique thing. You can't replicate. You can't replace that. You can't. And yeah, there's a mom that knows him and a dad, but it's like, nobody's spent more time with him than me. Like, it's not even close. So yeah, all right, maybe I'll do some more of that work, because I have been thinking about it. Bella's Chance, with all my most heartfelt sympathy and understanding, I offer my condolences for the loss of your family. Thank you, Bella's Chance. Yeah, they were just another number. Any news on Scott Adams? Scott he did not broadcast for a day, which is very unusual. He's looking very thin and very weak right now. He told us that the time is running short. But yeah, he was back broadcasting. I was listening to sort of his take on the Elon feud today. So he seems to be back. I know, it's like every episode could be his last. I'm like, oh man, it was a pretty good show. It is a good show. I like listening to it. Ask the nurse if I ever met them. Ivermectin? I ever met them. Oh yeah, Kenneth. Cha-ching was a thing. DMT? No, I have not done DMT. Not intentionally. But I have explored other ways. David saying they wanted to off as many peeps as possible. I mean, look what Gretchen Whitmer, or what the dude in New York, not Hochul, the hell was his name? Oh, was it Cuomo that was putting infected people into nursing homes so you could have a massive burst of expirations that you could use to fuel the need to flash this red light and terrify the world? Yeah, it sure seemed intentional. Nobody in their right mind would put sick people into a nursing home. Why did they do that? Love to know. All right. If I pray, he will visit me in my dreams. I don't know if I want to visit a medium. Once again, you start channeling some demonic energy. You can, yeah, so damn sad. It is. All right, moving on.
News: the Supreme Court is releasing opinions. I want to go straight to CNN Chief Legal Affairs correspondent Paula Reed. What are you learning, Paula?
All right, Pam, we've already gotten 4 decisions from the court, and among them is one of the big ones we have been watching. This is a unanimous opinion that will make it easier to file so-called reverse discrimination claims here in the U.S.
Okay, first point. Taking control of language is paramount to taking control of your life. Never say reverse discrimination. Not a single time. Never call them mainstream media. They're not mainstream. They're lying legacy media. There's no such thing as reverse discrimination or reverse racism. There's only ugly, hate-filled reverse. There's only ugly, hate-filled racism. Only ugly, hate-filled discrimination. Saying reverse racism implies that only straight, white, Christian males can be racist, can be discriminatory. Never use their language. Oh, it's reversed. Oh my gosh, you mean for the first time ever, a non-white Christian straight guy did something bad? Nuh-uh, Cut that shit off. I wrote that article about reverse racism in 2000 or 2001 in college. My God, is that really 25 years ago? I wrote it in college. There's reverse racism. No, that implies that only white people can be racist. Oh, well, my professor told me that. Your professor's a racist. He's a race-baiting nincompoop who knows damn well that what they're peddling is wrong, but they get to play the perpetual high and mighty and cast aspersions on a group of people to be perpetual demons. Why wouldn't they say something so ridiculous? It's up to you to call them out on that. There's no such thing. Don't ever say, and to be fair, this reporter did say so-called reverse racism. Okay, well, so stop calling it that. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's no such thing as reverse discrimination. Anyway, that is a key component. We typed in here, never use the term reverse. Discrimination from angry, bitter, bigoted people cuts in every direction, and it's time to better define the narrative.
Now here, the Supreme Court sided with a straight woman in Ohio. She filed a reverse discrimination lawsuit against her employer when her gay boss declined to promote her and instead promoted another gay individual. Now, this is mostly about the bar that members of majority groups, so in this case a straight white woman, need to meet in order to file these kinds of claims.
The bar that they have to meet to file these kinds of claims. Of course, anybody from any background can say that I was discriminated against. And there has not been a more popular person to discriminate against for the last 30 years than the straight white Christian male. Every perspective you look at for the past 30 years, the major policies, whether it's private, whether it's corporate, whether it's government, whether it's education, whether it's media, the attacks are allowed to go one way, not any others. Oh, yeah, I'm the piñata now. Just bash upon me for things I didn't do. Just bash upon me. I'm your whipping boy. Come and get it. Man, am I glad these days are done. Oh, you mean you're saying you felt the effects of discrimination in your life? Mm-hmm. Over and over and over again. Covertly, overtly. Obviously and implied. Intuitively felt Sometimes able to prove, sometimes not able to prove. Oh, a lot of vitriol. There's a lot of anger from dorky kids that look at other kids and go, I'm tired of getting picked on. I'm going to pick on them. Oh, I've been looked at not as a human. I've been looked at as, oh, you represent the football player, cocky jock type, the Christian know-it-all. Ooh, I'm a straight guy. Screw you. I'm angry at the world. I'm going to take it out on you. Yeah. Oh, no. Only white people can be bad. No, only men can be bad. No, only straight people can be bad. No, only Christians can be bad. Get out of here with that. Every group of people, every type of human can be bad. So let's collectively stop using the term reverse when it comes to discrimination and racism, please. Please.
And here in a unanimous opinion.
And this was a unanimous opinion. Oh my God. We almost never see unanimous opinions. And I often say, like Reagan said, there's nothing more permanent in this world than a temporary government program. When you see something pass Congress or the Supreme Court universally, run. When everybody is on the same page about something, you go, oh shit, this has got to be bad. All right, I stand corrected. This is the perfect opinion here. This is finally. Yeah, you're one of them Trumpers, aren't you? I can just tell. You can tell. How can you tell? Because you're white. Because you're a man. Why are you hating me? You don't even know me. I know what you're about. No, you don't, pal, lady. Bella's Chance. Just a note. I love your "Don't tread on me" mug. I've always thought if talking heads behind camera in any media never said another word about racism, it would just be fine and we'd get along. Oh, yeah. But what's a community agitator gonna do if he doesn't get to play his trump card, his wild card all the time? Racist, misogynist, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic, thisophobic, transphobic, that's a phobic, you're a racist, you're a thisist, you're a thatist. Oh, yeah, it's all the Democrats have. Oh, also, we got to kill babies every chance we get. And I understand the need for society to be pro-choice, and I understand the need for families to plan their children. I understand all of that. But there's a difference between having that as a policy. What was rare, safe, and effective turns into, I'm going to go on Comedy Central and turn a big Broadway performance into dancing and laughing about my abortions. Whatever that curly-haired lady was, I watched that. It's like, we are through the looking glass, people. Well, there shouldn't be a stigma attached to it. I mean, it is what it is. Keeping it legal versus you can allow something without being happy with it. You don't have to have pride in it. Pride being one of the 7 deadly sins, by the way. I mean, if you want to just take words for what they are, you're not supposed to be prideful or boastful or any of that stuff. Interesting that Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is also overlapping. All right, well, good. I'm glad you love the mug. Maybe I will make, I don't have a mug here for the New American Media. I have mugs for the Unhappy Hour. But maybe I'll get some mugs made with my Gadsden flag buddy here. I have received comments on this mug. It is popular. You know what? I did a job interview yesterday because I love you guys, but this doesn't pay the bills. And man, the bills have been... I've been fortunate and blessed to be able to dedicate my life for the past 2 years to saving the country by getting rid of Obama Biden and stopping the trajectory that we were headed. But yeah, I did have a job interview yesterday, and I was like, oh, geez. I poured my coffee out of this into a very generic mug, very intentionally. You might find somebody on that Zoom meeting that says, I don't like liberty. Oh, I bet you he's one of those Trumpers. Oh, I bet you he's a conservative or a libertarian or a constitutionalist. Oh, Heavens to Murgatroyd. Maybe a constitutionalist. I'm like, doggone it. Got to drink coffee out of my generic mug. Ugh. But I was self-aware enough to do it. All right.
Opinion, they have sided with this woman. So she will, it appears, be allowed to continue to proceed with this. And as you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion, this is something that has been really politicized.
Yeah, DEI needs to GO. It's discrimination. It's just discrimination against, like I said, straight, white, Christian males. Mostly. And I have people in my inner circle that I talk to, and I had a discussion with this person yesterday. I don't know why you're against DEI, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't understand what it means. It's setting up discrimination. And guess what? I lose every single metric in their ranking system. My skin is the wrong color. My genitalia is the wrong type. The God that I choose to have a personal relationship and faith with is wrong. My preference with what I choose to do with my genitalia in the privacy of my bedroom is wrong. Well, it's not wrong. It's just, it's good to have a variety of opinions. No. It's merit-based. Can you do the job? Yes or no? Discriminating against people based on anything other ability to crush your job, it's bullshit. So yeah, DEI has been under the microscope for good reason.
During the Trump administration, which is one of the many reasons that we have been watching this particular case so closely.
So that's a really good update. And yeah, never use the term reverse, ever. The philosopher here puts this out. Oh, here's more. I'm not having fun anymore. Once again, just a disclaimer. I don't know what's in this data dump. I know some accounts that are going to post things. I'm going to go, ooh, I wouldn't normally share that. Okay. But I'm going to let it rip because I'm a human. I'm an adult. And doggone it, people like me. Philosopher. The faux philosopher. Philosopher. I don't know. Call me crazy, but maybe we don't need a federal government. I mean, hey. Whenever the conversation isn't going how I planned, I finger gun shoot myself and I walk away. Why are you telling me? Yeah, okay. And just turn around. I might try that. Oh yeah, DEI is DOA, buddy. Tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Yeah, I did get to role play a call. I did a couple things. I didn't get the where do you see yourself in 5 years? I see myself running this company. I don't know. I see myself 5 years richer, 5 years happier. I don't know. What do you want? Well, 5 years from now, hopefully I'll be able to pitch that TV show back to BBC and become an international television star and split your lousy company. Is that what you want me to say? Anyway. My fault. 5 times August. All right. Not just a trumper here. My false idols. It hurts so bad. Why make me choose? I'm so invested. What am I supposed to do? About Trump and Elon. Everyone's saying if DJT was in the Epstein list, the Democrats would have also released the files, or they would have released the files. The Democrats are also on the list. You guys still believe it's Democrats versus Republicans? Honestly, honestly can't believe you guys are still this. Ooh, do I say that word in 2025? Okay, everything's fake and gray. All right. Now we're into the Jew stuff. Gonna move on. Here's Megyn Kelly.
And it was really crazy.
Talking about chess and checkers. Is this the first time Trump orchestrated a fake feud with a public figure to achieve a goal?
So crazy, Sean, because I walked out. We agreed. Like,
by the way, I hadn't seen those posts. I just know that I'm not having fun anymore account. I know where they almost always go in their data dumps. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go there. It's like, I don't know. It's toxic. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, it's toxic. And I try to not get lost in the weeds on that. All right, Megyn Kelly.
Like, we're good. And the last thing he said to me before I walked out of Trump Tower was, you know, Megyn, it's not such a good thing if they're not talking about us. And I was like, oh my God, was this whole thing for show? Like, was he acting the whole time?
Wow.
To generate buzz? And it was really crazy, so crazy, Sean, because I walked out, we agreed, like, we're good.
Yeah, okay, that was the beginning. So yeah, saying maybe this is a second time, you know, we've seen this before. Now, is this movie footage? What are we watching here? I know they've taken some footage and colorized it, but these movies are done so well, it's hard to even tell the difference. But this is D-Day. I don't know, not happy D-Day. I mean, I guess you won, but, you know, it's also a solemn moment, a solemn reminder. 81 years ago, America's bravest fighting men stormed the beaches of Normandy and turned the tides of World War II. They emerged victorious against the Nazis and inspired generations of Americans. They're heroes. I can play this, but I feel like it's a movie and I don't want it flagged here. So anyway, but yeah, Call of Duty, one of the Medal of Honors. It's like they drop you on the beach at Normandy and just like you have the Rumble Pack on PlayStation and you have your earbuds in. I mean, it makes it feel like you're there, and it's immersive. It's immersive. And to just imagine, like, what if you actually had to go through all of that? It's a powerful, it's a powerful exercise. It's essentially virtual reality to like put yourself into that situation. So this is D-Day. Remember that. Take a moment to show some appreciation and, you know, maybe pray or meditate on, you know, what are you willing to risk? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good? If push came to shove, would you put up or shut up, you know? D-Day today. June 6, 1944. All right, Scott Jennings crushing it again.
Healthcare.
Even illegals?
The lady says, everyone deserves health care.
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
healthcare.
yes. That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a Democratic position.
It is a yes, but
yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean, I mean,
How is this controversial?
but
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial to say I don't want someone to die in the hospital because they can't afford
Who do you
it?
think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital? Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
Including undocumented
we all pay
people
for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that undocumented
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers.
Are you for it or not? Can I start my logic train?
Are you for it or not?
My logic train starts with the fact that I don't want to kick 11 million people off.
Do you
of
want
Medicaid.
the illegal aliens on or not?
Do I want first of all, do I want undocumented citizens to have health care? The answer is yes.
Why are they calling them undocumented citizens? They're not a citizen. They know they're not a citizen. They're trying to mess the language up. It's Orwellian. It's newspeak. It's not reverse racism. It's racism. It's not reverse discrimination. It's discrimination. It's not undocumented citizen. It's an illegal alien invader. You want to come in through the front door and go through the process. Let us pick the best and brightest with the least criminal records and the highest potential to elevate our game, just like drafting players into your NFL, your NBA draft. You want the best players to help your team win. You want great people to help everyone succeed. Yeah. You don't let everyone in. Hell no. They're not undocumented citizens. They're not citizens. If you're, they know this.
Do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it.
What about second? How about this? When the people that are picking your peaches. Yeah, I'm passionate about Americans.
Passionate for the illegals.
No, I'm passionate.
And it always goes back to, well, what are we going to do with our slaves? This guy right here, he goes, well, what are we going to do with our slaves? We've seen, you know, hang on, I brought this up the other day and I didn't clarify. Oh no, it was Kelly Osbourne on The View. I don't even have to type it. It was Kelly Osbourne on The View. Well, who's going to clean your toilets? That Democrat activist I played yesterday. Well, if we can't bring in illegal aliens, who's going to wipe our asses? This guy, who's going to pick your peaches? The Democrats are in love with their slaves. They always have been. Go back to the Civil War. What side did they fight on? They were on the pro-slavery side. They've always been pro-slave. They want people in the shadows so that they can, I don't know. You know what they do. Boost their congressional numbers in their big cities. Toil for tiny wages, get taken advantage of and abused and trafficked. I don't know, maybe find a way to generate a fake Social Security number and get them receiving free money. And if you get that free money from us, your daddy Democrats, you'll vote for us forever, right? Well, I can't vote. Oh, you can vote. You just do it by mail-in ballot. Nobody has to know. Okay. How about we change all that? The Hegelian dialectic. Yes. Double speak.
How dare you want people to be alive? How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want safe and secure borders.
You need more to make your...
He wants safe and secure borders so we can have undocumented citizens, he called them. Just because you show up at the Cleveland Browns training facility at their organized team activities, the OTAs, and walk out to the practice field, it doesn't make you a member of the Browns. You're not on the Cleveland Browns.
Vision of America work. We need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the illegals?
Like you do
promised to illegals. No, it was not.
No, it was promised to us. It was promised to us, not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was born here? You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in...
First of all, where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here. My family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making a passionate argument for a country built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not anywhere near a politically popular position.
Our country is built on immigration, period.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's populated and built from the inside out. You don't have a nonstop influx. Unfettered, unchecked, unregulated, illegal immigration. Okay, pitch that. Good luck, Democrats.
Period.
What kind?
Okay. Oh, and first,
what kind of immigration?
So, before we go to commercial, what kind? What kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop digging?
No, because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
Come on.
Well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said.
Yeah, illegal aliens, undocumented people are abused. We don't want people abused, so don't let illegal aliens in. You want to become a citizen? Show up at the front door and knock like an adult. Tell us what's going on. Try to go through the process. Learn the English language. Study our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our governing documents. Let's go through your background, find if you're a radical jihadist, if you're XYZ, if you have a violent criminal record. And if you want to be here, do it the right way. Sensical immigration. Yeah, I want the best and brightest. I want to be open to making our team America better.
Hold on. No. But you can't say come on when somebody's like, my family was brought here in chains. The answer is not come on.
Everyone deserves.
So anyway, it's always interesting watching them go at it. Cat Turd says, breaking. Elon Musk has unsubscribed and unfollowed me. Alex Jones says he's not in my Trump cult. Many large influencer accounts desperately tried to stay neutral today. I've never changed in years. If you want to criticize Trump's bill, no problem. If you don't like Trump's policies, no problem. I'm okay with that. If you don't like Trump's tariffs, I'll listen to your side. But when you come out and call Trump a pedophile, that's when you've crossed a red line. Don't care about anything you have to say after that. Is that a fair statement from Cat Turd? Do you agree or disagree? Yes, David. There's a lot of highly paid professional liars out there. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't understand why Elon went where he went. I don't get it, and I'm not thrilled with it. Also, it's not the end of the world either. It's just a spat. It's just letting off a bunch of steam. I'm a big boy enough to just go whatever, because I know, having vetted Trump for what are we on, 9 years now, 10 years. If they had this in their back pocket, they would have played it by now. It's super strange that Cash and Bongino and Bondi haven't made any arrests, though. That creeps me out. Anyway, President Trump says prices are down, income is up, our border is closed, gasoline is cheap, inflation is dead, our country is booming, companies are pouring into America like never before. All right. Second comment, release the Epstein list to the public. So is it working? Is the left now trying to force the issue? I don't know, maybe.
Be specific.
Here's Megyn Kelly talking with, I've played her before, Batya Ungar Sargon. She doesn't trust Elon Musk.
About what it is Elon is or has been doing that turns you off so much.
His entire supply chain is in China, and he is unbelievably close with the CCP. Xi Jinping asked him to build a showroom for Tesla in Xinjiang, which is where the Uyghurs are being genocided, and he complied. He didn't have to do that. He's the richest man on the planet. So he has this unbelievably obsequious relationship with China, who I believe is our greatest adversary. I don't see how you can truly be an American patriot when you have to bend the knee to China and have proven willing to bend the knee to China over and over again. He's such a maverick on Twitter when it comes to American politics, but he has never once said a negative word about the CCP, which of course engages in tons and tons of, human rights violations, the genocide of the Uyghurs, and of course undermines America at every turn that it can. The way that he related to American workers over the H-1B visa squabble over Christmas, when he literally endorsed a tweet calling Americans retarded, I really, really, really didn't like that. I don't think he has the same values as the MAGA movement. He's not religious. He has the.
I mean, that whole H-1B visas thing, it's like, hire Americans. What is this? You got to keep flooding America with, I think that was specifically about India, I think. Maybe it was more than that, but, why are you so passionate? He's like, I'm so passionate. I will die on this hill. It's so important to me. Why is it important to you to bring in foreigners instead of hiring Americans? Just hire Americans. It's not complicated. Just hire them.
This kind of
on construction sites, in coding rooms, just hire them, train them, hire them. Just do it.
Transhumanist view. He thinks
she's wearing a Star of David here.
Thinks that Americans are going to be, people are going to become computerized and that intelligence is going to be machine made. All of
that's the singularity we were talking about with Ray Kurzweil, the quickening.
This stuff for me really puts him at odds with the values of the MAGA movement. Now that said,
be specific about what it is.
So, more perspective there. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is sending a message about the World Health Organization who complained about America not funding them anymore.
The WHO has become mired in bureaucratic bloat, entrenched paradigms, conflicts of interest, and international power politics. While the United States has provided the lion's share of the organization's funding historically, other countries, such as China, have exerted undue influence over its operations in ways that serve their own interests and not particularly the interests of the global public. Global cooperation on health is still critically important to President Trump and myself, but it isn't working very well under the WHO, as the failures of the COVID era demonstrate. The WHO has not even come to terms with its failures during COVID, let alone made significant reforms. Instead, it has doubled down with the pandemic agreement, which will lock in all of the dysfunctions of the WHO pandemic response. Well, we're not going to participate in that. We need to reboot the whole system, as we are doing in the United States.
I can't imagine how good that felt for Bobby. I'm in a little envy right now, being able to deliver that message to WHO. It's so good.
The WHO has become mired in...
Yep, it's a mess. Thanks for helping. Alex Jones here says, I am not on Team Trump or Team Elon. I am on Team Humanity, which equals Team Truth. That's pretty fair, I think. Joey Manarino says, there's nothing that could ever make me turn my back on a man who literally took a bullet for me. There's nothing that could ever make me turn my back on a man who literally gave me my freedom of speech back after 5 years of being banned from the world. I love Trump. I love Elon. That's pretty fair. Yeah, once again, the Supreme Court rules unanimous decision in a unanimous choice that reverse discrimination is just discrimination. DEI is institutional racism and must be removed from all companies and institutions in the United States. Once again, just never use the term reverse. Watching Trump and Elon have their X-flare yesterday.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Accurate button. That's funny. That escalated quickly. Yeah, I played you this one already. This guy hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. Specifically asked, do you have information to hurt President Trump? Nope, he didn't. President Trump says, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness, make America great again. I mean, Trump did have a bunch of spending. The flip side to that is, well, a lot of that spending was COVID spending. You can't really blame him for the COVID craziness of that last year. You can partially, not completely. The whole world went crazy. But I do understand there are ridiculous, goofy constraints here that we can and cannot figure out and work with. This budget is very confusing. There's things that they can cut, things that they can't cut, things that you can temporarily, things you can. It's designed to be a mess. And it's a little too complicated for me to speak entirely, precisely, confidently about. I can't be super confident because it's a little tricky to understand what it is. But you took what Trump gave to the House, and then the House sends it to the Senate, and they're going to send a different version back. Just make it better. Cut more money. Just cut more spending. If we could do a 2-year budget and Trump could say, I got a lot to fix. So I need more of this money up front. But next year, we'll do a 2-year budget. Instead of a 1 year, we're going to make it 2 year. But even this one, isn't this a 10-year budget? So it's just, there's a lot of confusion. Stephen Miller kind of goes out and he's convinced that it is actually saving money. Other people are saying, no, it's going to cost a bunch of money. There's a lot of well-deserved frustration right now. Tim Burchett.
Working with the administration.
Caitlin, let's be honest. The last 4 years, Joe Biden's administration, the Democrats ran up our debt $1 trillion every 100 days. Every 100 days. This definitely slows the rate of growth down to an incredibly slow amount. And also the fact that Medicaid and Medicare, that's been disproven so many times. The Democrats have fought us every time we want to cut out waste, abuse, and fraud. You have a healthy man who's drawn Medicaid check. That's wrong.
Yeah,
that's
really
wrong.
not the case.
They need to be working, and they need to work, and you all need to quit allowing that lie to be facilitated.
The Congressional Budget Office has made clear.
We've talked about this.
Then they just argue for 30 more seconds, but he made his point. I'll move on. Steve Bannon talking with Matt Gaetz. They maybe not all that trustworthy of Elon.
On there. Oh yeah, no.
Trusting of Elon.
No, he's owned by the Chinese Communist Party. What are you talking about? Tesla, his only thing of real value is Tesla. He uses it for margin loans. He sells the stock. The Shanghai joint venture is 100% controlled by the CCP. This is why he never goes after the CCP. This is why he always backs off. This is when they had the protest. They had the protest about the lockdowns of COVID. He will not do it. Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He is in bed in a business partner. He's done some good stuff, letting stuff out, with Taibbi and others. It's fine. But he is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party, and he acts like it.
There was a story recently that they warned him to stop talking about lab leak.
100%.
He's got, I think there was
They wanted him to take down the tweets he did the first time. Now, he didn't take them down, but you notice he didn't have any more up there after that.
And I wonder if he said, okay, I won't tweet more about it. But here's the issue.
And by the way, even that phrase lab leak, it's a lab release and a potentially intentional lab release. Don't call it a leak. Don't call it a comeback. No, call it an intentional lab release and let them prove it was an accident. No, don't call it a leak. That sounds, oh no, I giggled and I leaked in my Depends a little bit. Oh, I don't know. There was a little bit of a leak in my the radiator hose. Oh, there was a little bit of a leak in my basement. It's like, no. You unleashed a pathogen to destroy humanity. That was a release. Call it a lab release.
What do I see with the CCP in the United?
I'm such a heckler, not a heckler. I'm such a stickler. You say Stifler? Like Stifler's mom? No, I'm a stickler for precise language when I can.
United States, and if the United States falters, if this fourth.
By the way, the CCP Chinese companies are all in the Silicon Valley Bank.
Oh yeah,
that's another thing they're already talking about. We think that maybe up to a third of those innovative companies may be CCP.
Oh, okay. Oh, check this out. What's going on in Cleveland, where I'm formerly from?
And we have some school board.
Merrill Johnson in Cleveland, NAACP plan to reward Ohio school boards for defying Trump's DEI bans. Oh, here we go.
Board members all over the country, but especially in Ohio, we have school board members who understand what their job is, and that's to put students first. And so some school
without discrimination, lady.
Board members in Ohio have defied that what I call an immoral suggestion from the president to sign anti-DEI, anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion directives. And so at our Teach Truth Day of Action, we're calling it a Finding Joy teach-in.
There's no joy in finding discrimination because of who we are, lady.
We're going to be giving what we call Guardians of Justice Awards.
No, that's the opposite of justice.
School board members who stood up and said, no, we're not signing that, who believe that their students are the most important thing and that they are going to look out for their students because that's their job. And so I'm wearing the pin now. I hope you can see it. It's a Guardian of Justice Award. We're going to be giving awards to school board members along with a certificate. So far, we have 3 districts that are going to be actually showing up, including Cincinnati, Shaker Heights School District, and the Cleveland Heights University Heights District. They are going to come to our event on June 7th. And we're going to hold on to the awards. And as we continue to hear from more school board members, we will mail them their Guardian of Justice Awards and their certificates. We want to encourage people. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Okay,
to be a bigot?
We have a democracy to protect, and it's our job.
It's a constitutional republic, lady.
To do that. So I want to thank you for this opportunity. And we have some school board members all over the country, but especially in Ohio, we have school board members who understand what their job is.
All right, I think that's the repeat. So keep your eyes peeled. Merrill Johnson, Cleveland, NAACP. We said, go fire them, make an example. Democrat discrimination is done. Here's Pete Hegseth leading a workout at 6:30 in the morning on Omaha Beach in honor of the 81st anniversary. Actually, don't see Hegseth in that being carried. Yeah, these are the visions of our military that I want to see. Those Obama Biden years were so weird. Cat Turd says Trump would love to have a bill with everything Elon Musk wants in it. If this was either of their businesses, they could just say the word and it would happen, and the business would prosper. But try getting it passed by a hostile, corrupt Congress full of the commie Democrats and self-serving Republican egomaniacs with a slim majority. This is what Trump's up against, and it's almost impossible. I agree. That's a fair point, too. I think in this feud, this battle between Trump and Elon, yes, David, we're definitely in strange days. There's a lot of perspectives that are fair. A lot of stuff that's accurate. And by the way, maybe cut Elon a little bit of slack. He's watched how Trump threatens things. You know, maybe I should get rid of some subsidies to Elon's companies. He's like, all right, well, based on your comments, I'm going to shut down the Dragon thing that keeps the space, the space station moving, the one that was sent up and rescued the stranded hero astronauts. You know, but there's a lot of bark and a lot of threats, and that Elon has learned that watching Trump with tariffs. Make it 300% tariffs. I'm sick of your shit. We're gonna triple it. Okay, tariffs are off. They're a great country. They're great guys and girls. I don't know. They're venting. They're hashing this stuff out. This is how the sausage is made. It's kind of an ugly process sometimes. There's several opinions that I think I think are fair. This guy has a fair opinion. He says, I don't want
my money being taken and sent off to, drop bombs on kids in faraway lands. I don't want my money to be spent on foreign subsidies. If you're going to take my money, I want it to benefit me and my community. For the federal government, all I really care about is high courts and military. The rest of the federal government, for the most part, can just go away, and the states can manage the things for their citizens. We don't need the great overlord. I don't need the great overlord. We're just like, well, why is this government so important anyway? All right, let's take a listen to the jobs report.
139,000 is the non-farm payrolls number. The street was looking for 130,000. The unemployment rate stayed the same, 4.2%. We did see a loss in manufacturing jobs of 8,000 jobs. The street was looking for a loss of 5,000. Private payrolls coming in 140,000. The street was only looking for 120,000. So that's where you see a little more strength in this number. And I think that's propping up the entire story here is that private number. As far as average earnings month over month, a gain of 0.4%. The street was looking for 0.3. Average earnings year over year, 3.9%. The street was looking for 3.7%. That's wage inflation. In line on average work week hours, 34 hours. We did see a loss of government jobs of just 1,000. We don't, of course, get estimates for that. But last month, I do want to point out that we had a gain of 10,000 government jobs. Labor force participation rate, we don't have an estimate for that. That came in at 62.4. As for what the government is talking about, where the jobs were created, Maria, employment to continue to trend up in healthcare, leisure and hospitality, social assistance. The federal government, as you can probably expect, continued to lose jobs. So those are the headlines coming out of this, Maria. But again, we're looking at a market that's really taking off here. 130.
And by the way, the market continues. It went up, it came down, now it's back up. It's up 445 today, 1%. So that's good. That is some good news. President Trump.
We will not let what happened in Europe happen to America. That is why today I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others.
If you were a European and you could go back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and reverse all of your immigration policies and end the open border stuff and not let in millions and millions of people who are there to overthrow your government.
They are there to overthrow your government. It's an invasion. It's a military action.
and destroy your culture and everything, you know damn well that virtually every European except the most crazed, brain-broken leftist would do it. How many more of these Egyptian nationals who want to throw Molotov cocktails people are there who will strap on suicide bombs, who will blow up buses or whatever else? We have no idea how many are in the country. So we better get serious quick. Otherwise, it will get much worse quickly. Do you want people in your country who believe that because they have some set of political beliefs or cultural beliefs or religious beliefs, they're allowed to murder people in your country? Because it doesn't matter what the issue is, right? It's what the action is. So if the action is, well, I don't like these types of people, I don't like people who think this or that or who vote a different way or whatever it might be, so I'm allowed to murder them. Once we basically say that that's okay, then all bets are off, because everyone on every which side would be able to do the reverse of that. Oh, I don't like what they say, so I'm going to murder them. And then you can do that in every which direction. It's deeply dangerous. It's completely anti-American, and Trump's got a big freaking job cut out for him, and we will see if he's up to the test.
We will not.
So we're going to find out. So that just happened as well. Here's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
You know, as we ran on that beach this morning at 6:30, as the sun was rising, about the same time those first landing crafts landed, didn't look much like a battlefield. It looked like a beach. I ran over more than a few sandcastles. That's what those men fought for. That we may turn scenes of death into scenes of life. Scenes of war into scenes of peace. Glorifying Almighty God with our lives and living worthy of their sacrifice. You know, as we ran on that beach.
Keep it in mind. Brillin Hollyhand has a take on this. Stop screaming and let's talk honestly. Yes, it's true that this big, beautiful bill includes a lot to applaud. Yes, it's also true the bill is bloated and could use some cuts. But here's the reality nobody wants to admit. This is the best shot we've had in years at enshrining real MAGA policies into law. If we blow it because a handful of people would rather grandstand online than negotiate in good faith, we lose it all. It's not anti-Trump to want fiscal responsibility. It's pro-common sense. Gen Z can't inherit a country drowning in $40 trillion of debt and expect to thrive. But Twitter temper tantrums and purity tests won't fix it either, especially when we hold the House by only 5 seats. It's a fair perspective. Rahm Emanuel says here on Fox, why do Democrats have a problem? Because we're punks. And we not only talk like punks, we talk down to people. We get caught up in a set of issues that aren't relevant. Cue his excommunication from the wild Democrat Party in 3, 2. So Jen Specht says the long-suppressed Olson-Kennedy puberty blocker study is finally out. After 2 years on blockers, youth showed no significant improvement in depression, emotional health, or parent-reported behavior. Once again, the Dutch study failed to replicate. The study went unpublished because of politics, says a doctor. This is from the New York Times. Dr. Johanna Olson-Kennedy admitted she deliberately withheld publication of a $10 million taxpayer-funded study on the effect of puberty blockers on American children. Prominent doctor accused of pushing preteen into puberty blockers mastectomy sued for medical negligence. Of course she should be. Aaron for Parental Rights says, surprise, chemically castrating and sterilizing children does not magically fix their mental health problems. Instead, the impossible pursuit to become the opposite sex actually makes them worse. The suicide myth of would you rather have a living son or a gone daughter that parents like me were bullied with is a lie. It's always been that. Shame on the doctors and the people pushing this. If it was coming from a place of love and hope, it was misguided. If it was coming from a manipulative place for money and power and control, shame on you, you demon. but protect the kids moving forward, and go after anybody that's mutilating healthy children. What was this? I saw this post. Joey Manarino. Eric Swalwell says, release the Epstein files now. And it's like, wait, Swalwell's calling for this? Oh my gosh, he took the bait. This is 4D chess. This is exactly what Trump wanted. He wanted the Democrats screaming for the Epstein list so he could finally get it out. Hillary Clinton replies, sleep well tonight, Eric. That seems fake. I'm going to ask Grok. Did Hillary Clinton tweet out, sleep well tonight, Eric? I don't think so. No evidence. There's a recent post on X, including discussions around June 5, suggesting a screenshot showing a tweet in response to Swalwell's post about releasing Epstein files is likely a meme or fake, as no such interaction appears on her timeline or a credible source. We just said, All right, well, there's our suspicious thoughts. Chad Prather says it could be the biggest troll in history to make Democrats demand both the Epstein files and spending cuts. We may be watching pure genius unfold in front of our eyes. We could. You know, what is the rule? Isn't the Bongino rule to wait 3 days? John Correa from Active Self-Protection, he's been on my show a couple times. He says a 72-hour rule. You got to just wait. You got to wait a little while before you come in hot with all these ideas. And I know what I am. So it's like you don't know much of anything. Just calm your body down. Kenneth, blockers means no knockers? No. I mean, I can't. In some cases, yes. Here's what's going on. Me trying to decode what psyop they are running behind the Trump-Elon breakup. Does it mean this? Does it mean that? Does it mean this? Does it mean that? But in this meme, it appears to always be going back to Israel and Jerusalem and Netanyahu and Israel. And I don't know if that's... I like the gist of not trying to be able to decode what psyop is happening behind the Trump-Elon breakup. I'm not saying it's the Jews, like this one is saying. But it's got like the Matrix thing going, and it's just you're trying to think, well, hold on, do I build a statue for Elon, or do I firebomb his... Do I like Tesla? Do I not like Tesla? Wait, Elon wants cuts, but I don't like Elon, so I want raised spending, but Trump wants raised spending, so I'm against Trump because Orange Man's bad. So if Trump wants more spending, I need to cut spending. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I couldn't imagine trying to be a leftist, trying to pick a side between who are you going to support, Trump or Elon. That's an impossible task, regardless of the Netanyahu angle implied in this post here. Yep, here we go. They're fighting. He gave us free speech. Elon, he took a bullet for us. Trump, me, I know it's all theater. I'm just going to ignore it all. Not my circus, not my clowns. SpaceX is better. Space Force is better. Me. Space is fake. I'm not saying I believe space is fake. I'm reading you a meme. Merely displaying a meme on the TNAM Daily Show is neither an endorsement nor a repudiation. We just talk about things that we see. Is that okay? I think it's okay that we talk about things that we see. Okay. Oh, there we go. Forbidden Clothes thinks that the Trump and Elon fight is all about Netanyahu. Okay, so what is this? This is attacking at Tesla. All right, anyway, you get the point. Here's a great point that I think, I mentioned this, but for real. If you knew someone was on Epstein's list, would you let him hang out and babysit your child? No. Come on, Elon. You don't even believe that Trump is involved with Epstein stuff. You wouldn't have let him hang out with your kid. You know that. We know that. Come on. Thomas Massey says, if there's only one elected person in D.C. who will tell you this, then it will be me. We have a massive annual deficit. We are losing the ability to control interest rates. Tax cuts without serious spending cuts will severely damage our country by creating unsustainable debt. That's just accurate. I don't hate on Massey's take. It makes a lot of sense. GN Marco says, I wish Biden were alive to see this. Oh, man. I wish Biden were alive to see this. That's hilarious. This is allegedly payback for the Ukrainian attack on the airfield in Russia. Powerful explosions shake the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. Truth Politica says, well, Zelensky, I hope decimating the Russian strategic air force was worth it. Russia has been fighting this war with one hand tied behind its back, and this is no longer the case. Putin has unleashed missile strikes and the remaining strategic bombers on Kyiv. This could have been avoided had Zelensky chosen peace. Or if NATO had chosen peace. Or the US had chosen peace. What's happening here? That's all right. Did I just lose power? Am I still streaming? How did this light just go out? Come on, I just I thought my power went out again. Oh shit, what's wrong with this light?
Ого, вот это разорвало.
All right. So the war is escalating, unfortunately, because of Lindsey Graham and NATO.
You remember they kept saying it's 100% effective. No.
Okay, this was RFK Jr. talking with Howie Mandel, and let's remember, I never heard them say you won't get COVID if you take the vaccine. Bobby Kennedy. I saw a tape yesterday. Biden, Fauci, Gates, Borla, all of them saying if you take the vaccine, you can't get COVID. Can I play it for you?
Oh, they just said it'll negate the severity.
If you go on the internet, you can see Tony Fauci.
But the word effective didn't say you won't get. I never heard you won't get COVID.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a different subject. But yeah, in fact, I saw a tape yesterday of them all, of Biden, Fauci, Gates, Burla, all of them saying if you take the vaccine, Rachel Maddow, if you take the vaccine, you can't get COVID, you can't pass COVID.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well, you know what? Can I play it for you?
Yeah.
Not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal.
We can kind of almost see the end. We're vaccinating so very fast. Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Getting vaccinated and getting a booster shot when eligible can save your life and protect you and your family and friends from getting seriously ill and spreading infection.
What do you think the probability is? 80%?
Personally, I think it's 100%. I think that there's a reduction in transmission.
COVID if you have these vaccinations.
We have all the vaccines we need. We just need our people to take it. A, for their own protection, for the protection of their family, but also to break the chain of transmission. You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it. You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Liar.
It doesn't matter what Rachel Maddow says.
Yes, it matters.
You remember they kept saying it's 100.
Oh my God, yes, it matters. Howie, all caps. It freaking matters. Of course it matters. Miss Muckraker. Okay, I told you about that. There's no compromising material on President Trump, according to the lawyer hired to lead the Epstein defense. I shared that with you. Elon agrees that he and President Trump should make peace for the benefit of the country. Former President Biden signed only one pardon by hand during his final weeks in office, his son Hunter's, per Fox News. Everything else is an auto pen, including Fauci. So let's go get Fauci. The mental capacity the man held during this presidency is enough to void all pardons. I agree. Biden's physician, Kevin O'Connor, has been subpoenaed to testify. This dude has a lot to answer for. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should start an OnlyFans account. Is that something I should do? Could I pay all my bills on OnlyFans by just doing news? No, it's not about that. The most revenue efficient company in the world per Variety. And no one comes even close. NVIDIA, Cursor, Apple, Meta, Alphabet, OpenAI, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, then kaboom, OnlyFans. Leonid Radvinsky, the owner of OnlyFans, a Ukrainian-American Jewish entrepreneur who acquired a controlling stake in Phoenix International Limited, the parent company of OnlyFans, in 2018, from its original British founders, Tim and Guy Stokely. Radvinsky is recognized as a sole shareholder of the company, which has grown significantly under his ownership, becoming a major player in the creator-driven economy, particularly known for hosting a mix of adult and mainstream content. Maybe I should do an OnlyFans. Learning about this, Solomon Friedman, Canadian lawyer, an ordained rabbi, co-founder and partner at Ethical Capital Partners, private equity. In 23, ECP acquired MindGeek, the parent company of Pornhub and other adult entertainment websites, for an undisclosed sum. He serves as VP of compliance for Pornhub, focusing on improving content moderation, addressing illegal content, implementing measures like user verification to enhance safety and ethics on the platform. Yeah, I liked this meme. It was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson holding two pigeons. Now kiss. Elon Musk and President Trump, just kiss. American Finance. What is this? America finances a truck that costs $111,000. Oh, an American finances it. He's made 84 payments of $1,900. The amount he will pay for the truck after all the payments are $159,000. I don't care what anyone says. This is usury, and the bankers doing this should be locked up. You're damned right. I am so sick of having money stolen through interest. The banksters need to be starved. Oh, shit. Did I say something damaging to the worldview of those that can put their fingers intertwined behind their heads, relax, and let everyone else toil while they magically create funny money, and then we just pay interest forever? Is that what we're doing? $111,000 truck costs $159,000. That's $50,000. That's about 50% more in just interest. A country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by media will never know the truth. That's good. Thomas Massey says, here's the Massey plan. Throw the big, beautiful bill in the trash. Start over. Skinny. Extend the 2017 tax cuts. End the Green New Deal cold turkey. No bloat for military-industrial complex. No salt. No pork. Realistic border funding. Serious Medicaid reform. $1 in spending cuts for $1 in new tax cuts. I like that. Massey continues, a lot of Republicans, Trump included, are now demanding that we keep all of the Medicaid bloat brought on by Obamacare. Then you have the military-industrial complex that wants its fingers in the pie. Well, if you do that, someone has to pay for it. And you can't have tax cuts. Massey just introduced H.R. 3795, the Gold Reserve Transparency Act of 25, to audit the U.S. gold reserves. In February, President Trump said he wanted to go to Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. This bill provides the full disclosure President Trump seeks. Goodness gracious. Thomas Massey is right on target. Newsmax reports a former Army officer who was convicted and discharged in 22 for refusing to follow COVID-19 directives received an unconditional pardon May 28th from President Trump. Bravo. Now, I don't know how many of my regulars out here need to hear this, but listen, your body isn't broken. Your habits are. So, lift weights, go on walks, get some sunlight, sleep enough, eat real food, drink electrolyte water, and stop overcomplicating it. Lift heavy things and your hormones improve. Walk daily and your brain chills out. Get sunlight and your mood will brighten. Sleep enough, your energy will return. Eat real food, your body will transform. Drink salt water, headaches disappear. There are no magic pills if you can't get the basics right. And a judge has halted Trump's proclamation to suspend new international student visas at Harvard hours after the university files an amended lawsuit. Why? This account says, buying local beef now ensures tomorrow's supply. The Beef Initiative has a tool to help you find clean local beef. Hey, beefmaps.com. Not a sponsor yet. Also, federal officials confirmed that a Southern California fourth grader who was detained by immigration officials will be deported. Well, here's the reality. The boy and his dad are Hondurans who illegally crossed the border in 21. They were ordered to return to Honduras by a judge in 22. The father appealed and his appeal was rejected. They failed to leave the U.S. and will now be deported together. Yeah, that's how it works. Imagine that. The biggest scandal in American history keeps getting bigger. With talks of Biden staffers selling pardons and acts of clemency, this insane number now makes sense. The last 5 presidents, Clinton had 459 pardons, Bush 200, Obama just 4 times the Clinton number, 1,927. Trump, only 237. Then Biden goes more than 8,000, 4 times the Obama number, which was 4 times the Clinton number. It's time to audit some bank accounts. This is treason. I agree. And that is what I had to share with you today. Love to stay longer and go through my X feed, but there's a million things on my plate, and daddy got to eat. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Thank you all for joining today's program. Here's your reminder. The New American Media is on Instagram, Facebook, True Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube. So find us, follow us, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. The New American Media is on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. The New American Media is on X at American_media_. Subscribe to our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show, and The Unhappy Hour Sports Show on Spotify and Apple. And if someone wants to throw something in our wishing well, we are on Patreon at thenewamericanmedia.com, Venmo and Cash App at BrianEngelman, and PayPal at Fuzz Installment. All at the bottom of the screen if you would like to pause it and send a random donation, perhaps for the first time ever. We appreciate each and every one of you who are signing up on Patreon, tossing us some love on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal. Like, you're all so super appreciated. And as our show continues to grow, as our company, the New American Media, continues to grow, and we continue to unpack the news together each day, your support is crucial, and it feeds me the fuel that I need for the fire to burn, and it's burning, and I have returned. That's It's an M&M line. But yeah, it feeds me the fuel that I need for the fire to burn. So thank you. It lets me know that it's resonating, that my content is valuable in your mind. And it gives me that drive to do it again the next day. So as my schedule may eventually change, it may change into the evenings or super early morning hours. Still haven't figured out yet. That's what I'm going to keep in mind when I decide, am I still going to dedicate? I don't know how many, I do this show. It's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes, hour and a half sometimes, whatever. It varies, maybe around 2 hours, 2.5. But yeah, and it takes, I don't know how many hours I spend sifting and trying to find relevant stories to bring you. And then I got to do research on top of that, just finding them so that I have something relevant to talk about. I know the backstory and I can kind of guide you through the stories. This isn't all just handed to me. I'm the producer. I'm the segment producer. I'm the engineer. I'm the host. I'm the blah, 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 all the things. So, yeah, but it's fun. Where's the beef? I don't know. Check out the beef map. I think Elon and Trump have had a beef. Kenneth prefers mornings. Well, that would require me waking up a little bit early or getting everything prepared a little faster. It's possible. 6 or 7 a.m. Shorter, tighter shows, maybe. Done by 8:45. I don't know. We shall see. But for now, I'll be signing out. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.